Now a flame is raging across the entire United Kingdom. The Ministry of Defense made a harsh statement that it would stop all state support to the families of deceased service members living abroad, but the result turned out to be exactly the opposite. The flow of military widows to Pakistan has not decreased in the slightest. A shocking interview with one English widow changed everything in just 5 minutes. For the last 387 days, I didn't have the strength to do anything. What did she receive from Pakistan that made her decide to leave everything behind? We will reveal that now. My name is Sarah Jenkins. I am 38 years old. I lived like a ghost in an old apartment on the outskirts of Birmingham for exactly 387 days since my husband, Mark, died on a mission in the Middle East. Yes, I counted every single day. Even though I knew I was going crazy, I couldn't stop. Today, I took out Mark's military uniform again. His scent seemed to still be on it. I buried my face in the fabric and cried for a long time. Empty gin bottles lay on the table. Outside the window, even though it was March, the rain was still falling non-stop. This city was dying, and so was I. At 3:17 a.m., my phone rang. Who could it be at this time? Could it be Mark? I knew it was a mad thought, but my heart beat faster. Looking at the screen, I saw the name Rachel, a friend who had received the news. Your husband has died on the same day and hour as I had a year ago. After that, we lost contact. Sarah, did I wake you? Her voice was strange. Too bright. It wasn't the voice of a military widow like us. Rachel, what happened? Are you drunk? No. I'm perfectly fine. Listen carefully. I'm in Lahore right now. What? Lahore? Where is that? In Pakistan. The cultural capital of Pakistan. I woke up instantly. Had Rachel lost her mind? Pakistan? I'm going to video call you now. You have to see this for yourself. My hands were shaking as I pressed the accept button. As soon as the image appeared, I almost screamed. Rachel, is it really you? She had become a completely different person. No, it was as if she had grown 10 years younger. The pale, deathly face had vanished. A glow played on her cheeks, and her hair sparkled. But the most important thing was her eyes. Those eyes, which used to look like the eyes of a dead fish, were now shining like stars. Sarah, sit down and listen. I got married again. What? To a Pakistani man. His name is Bilal. Here, he's coming out now. A man appeared on the screen. He was in a neat shalwar kameez, with a kind smile. But the most striking thing was the look in his eyes when he looked at Rachel. Darling, is this your friend? Say hello. When was the last time I heard such an address? Hello, I am Rachel's husband. He greeted politely, gently putting his hand on Rachel's shoulder, lightly kissing her forehead and whispering, I will bring you something to drink. What do you want? Warm chai, please. Thank you. Why was this ordinary conversation so shocking? Oh, yes, because in our daily lives, there was no such thing. This is crazy, Rachel. You have truly lost your mind. Thomas has only been dead for a year. Rachel's face became serious. Sarah, I loved Thomas too, and I haven't forgotten him now. She brought her face closer to the camera. But for the last 6 months, I haven't taken a single pill. No sleeping pills. No antidepressants. Every morning I wake up looking forward to the day. Do you know what a miracle that is? I couldn't say a word, remembering my drawer full of medicine bottles. How? How is that possible? Pakistani men are not what people think of them. They are completely different. Bilal tells me he loves me every morning. When he returns from work, he says he missed me. We wash the dishes together, prepare food, and most importantly, tears welled up in Rachel's eyes. He sees me not as a miserable widow, but as a woman. Not a pathetic victim, but a beloved woman. Bilal returned with a tray. On it was not just tea, but also pieces of barfi and samosas. You must be tired. Eat more, he said, gently patting Rachel on the head, and left. See? And it's like this every day. At first, I didn't believe it either. I thought he was just playing a role. But 6 months have passed, and he hasn't changed a bit. He has only become even more tender, but this is too fast. Our husbands just died. Sarah, Rachel said firmly, both Mark and Thomas are dead. What do they want from us? For us to cry by their graves our whole lives? Or for us to be happy again? I couldn't answer. And you? How are you living? How many hours a day do you cry? How many pills do you drink? When was the last time you laughed? Every question wounded me like a knife. Sarah, come to Pakistan. See for yourself. Death is not the norm here. People build plans for the future. They love and laugh. But how can I go? I will help. Book a ticket and fly here. You can stay for just 2 weeks, and then go back. Please, Sarah. You can live like this too. Rachel on the screen looked incredibly beautiful. It was the face of a living person. I will think about it. You can't think. Decide now. Tomorrow, the day after, you will live the same way as before. And until when? Until your very death? These words made me angry. This is my life. I chose it myself. Don't lie. You didn't choose it. You are just existing because you are afraid to die. Aren't you? Tears poured from my eyes. Yes, I wasn't truly living. Sorry, I might be being too harsh. But Sarah, I can't watch you live like this anymore. We are only 38. We still have 40 years left to live. After hanging up the phone, I cried for a long time. Then I looked at myself in the mirror. An exhausted face, like a skeleton's. A withered body, like a stuffed doll. Is this a human being? I took Mark's photograph. Could I really live like that? Of course. There was no answer. But I remembered the last message from Rachel. Allama Iqbal International Airport. March 29, 2 p.m. I will meet you. Please, Sarah, you can start living again. At 4:05 a.m., I opened the airline's website. My fingers were trembling, but I pressed the pay button. For the first time in 387 days, I felt that tomorrow could be different. After booking the ticket, all the memories flooded back from that very day when it all began. A year ago, February 24, 2022, 5 a.m., I jumped up from the sound of emergency news on the television. The Prime Minister announced the deployment of troops to the Middle East. Mark was already awake. He was putting on his military uniform and packing his things. My husband, a reservist, had been called up several days ago. Is war really starting? No. It's just a planned redeployment. It will all be over soon. Don't worry. But there was anxiety in his eyes. I saw his hands shaking slightly. And when will you come back? In a week. 2 at most. That's what they said. They said everything would be over in a few days. Mark hugged me tightly. He held me longer and tighter than usual. Now, remembering it, I understand that he had a premonition. I love you, Sarah. I will definitely come back. I never thought that would be the last time. For the first couple of days, we called each other often. He said he was at a transit base and had not yet entered the combat zone. But from February 28, the connection started to disappear. March 1 was our last conversation. Sarah, it's me. His voice was tired. Crashes that sounded like gunshots could be heard around him. Where are you? Are you safe? Yes, I'm safe. It will all be over soon. Tomorrow, we'll probably move on. Take care of yourself. Please, take care of yourself. Don't worry. I'll be back soon. I love you. After that, the connection was cut. 1 day, 2, 3. Calls wouldn't go through. Messages weren't delivered. My anxiety turned into horror. March 15, 9 a.m. The doorbell rang. Opening it, I saw 2 officers in full dress uniform. I understood everything from their faces. Mrs. Jenkins? Yes. We regret to inform you that your husband, Sergeant Mark Jenkins, died heroically in the line of duty. Died heroically. Those words spun in my head, but I couldn't grasp their meaning. The The body. Where is his body? The officers looked at each other. Due to the difficult combat situation, evacuation of bodies is difficult. As soon as the opportunity arises, after they left, I collapsed on the floor. I didn't even cry. The shock was too strong. There were no tears. The next day, Rachel, who lived in the neighboring building, came over. She was crying too. Sarah, our Thomas, too, on the same day, March 15. Our husbands served in the same unit and died on the same day. We held a funeral without a body. Only a photograph stood in the empty coffin. The government promised compensation. But what was the point of that? Can money bring a husband back? After that, Rachel and I began to see each other often. Being with a person who had the same pain brought a little comfort. We even went together to secret meetings of the families of fallen soldiers, a country where you cannot say no to war, a country where you cannot ask why our husbands had to die. We didn't even have the right to mourn. And then one day, Rachel disappeared. The phone wasn't answering. She wasn't at home. When I asked the neighbors, they said they saw her leaving with a large suitcase, and now, a year later, she called from Pakistan. Sarah, sorry for leaving without saying anything, but I could no longer live in England, crying every day, remembering Thomas, and carrying the label of a hero's wife. It was unbearable. Rachel said that a distant relative working in Lahore helped her escape, and there she found a new life. You can come too. Everything is different here. There is no war, no deaths. No one calls us heroes' wives. We can live as ordinary people. Living as an ordinary person, I had forgotten that word over the past year. After the video call, I thought all night. Stay here, drowning in the past, or have the courage to go in search of a new life. I looked out the window. The rain was still falling, the cold and dark March of Birmingham. And then I looked again at the photos Rachel sent, the landscapes of Lahore. A happy Rachel walking with Bilal down a brightly lit street. I decided, I can't live like this anymore. At least, I must see it with my own eyes. A week later, I booked a ticket to Lahore. Although the ticket was already bought, I was still in doubt. Am I doing the right thing? What would Mark think of my decision? On the night before my departure, I called my mother. Mom, I'm going on a small trip to see a friend. Where? For long? Far away. For about 2 weeks. I couldn't tell her the details, knowing what my mother would say if she found out I was going to Pakistan, especially if I said it was to see Rachel. It's the anniversary of Mark's death soon. I know. I'll be back in time. In the taxi on the way to the airport, I didn't take my eyes off my phone, afraid that someone would stop me. If they found out that the widow of a fallen soldier was going abroad, and to Pakistan of all places, but nothing happened. I checked in at Birmingham Airport, passed security control, and boarded the plane. The flight lasted many hours. The seat next to me was empty. Outside the window, I saw the clouds and then the vast mountains. The thought that Mark was buried somewhere far away brought tears to my eyes. Madam, are you all right? A stewardess asked in Urdu and then English. She worriedly handed me a glass of water. I'm fine, thank you, I answered, and she smiled as if she understood everything. It was a warm smile. When I arrived at Allama Iqbal International Airport, the first thing I felt was the warmth and the vibrant energy. The airport was bustling, and the faces of the staff looked welcoming, which was different from the gloomy atmosphere back home. I was nervous, standing before the passport control, afraid that problems would arise. Hello. Purpose of visit tourism? Asked the border officer. He was a young man with a serious but polite face. To visit a friend. How many days do you plan to stay? 2 weeks. I wish you a pleasant stay. Welcome to Pakistan. He stamped my passport and returned it. That simple? It was not at all how I had imagined. When I walked out of the arrival zone, Rachel was already waving her hand at me. Bilal was standing next to her. Sarah! Rachel ran up and hugged me tightly. Our meeting after a year. I felt the warmth of her body. It was a feeling of life.